What it do, Dream Team? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with Who is Tim Walz? Why Harris picked Minnesota governor as VP running mate. I feel like ever since Harris picked him as her running mate, as her vice president, or a vice president running mate, that I've been seeing him all over social media. I haven't heard anything bad about the guy. It seems like everybody tends to love him. I've yet to find, I don't know if it's just my algorithm on TikTok or whatever it's going on, but I've not heard one thing bad about this man. We're going to go ahead and dive into this video so I can find out more about him. If you happen to enjoy it, please don't forget to subscribe, get a video a thumbs up. Also, if you got a video request, you can subscribe to Patreon and make a request. You can drop it in the comment section or in the description section. There's a premium request link. What we got, Tim?
Kamala Harris named Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate.
Tim Walz.
Walz is a former school teacher and seasoned Washington lawmaker who has been credited with a new political insult against Republicans.
Yes, they're weird. They prove that every day. It's an observation.
Walz is viewed as more
yes, they're weird. They prove that every day. It's an observation.
of a moderate figure, but someone who has picked up a number of progressive causes as governor. He's not somebody who has an extensive fundraising base or is someone who's very well known among the public.
Walz's ascension comes as Harris has consolidated support among Democrats after President Biden exited the race. Here's a look at what Walz brings as running mate in an election showdown with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
Talk to me.
Tim Walz is a proven winner among rural voters, and he's been very successful in Minnesota, which is a state that Republicans are trying to put onto the battleground map.
Thank you, Minnesota.
Walz really gives this everyman persona. He's somebody who's very comfortable with farmers. He's also someone who can appeal to voters in the suburbs and the cities.
Hey, Minnesota, Governor Walz here at the Great Minnesota Get-Together.
The 60-year-old governor didn't begin his career in politics.
He's someone who worked as a school teacher for more than 2 decades. He also spent time in the military. So he really brings to the table a background of someone who had an entirely different life before he entered politics.
Yes, I can understand why he's so loved. Right, love now. You got school teacher. Everybody loves a school teacher. It's the most underpaid position. You feel me? The most for the work that they do. Everybody loves a school teacher. Then he became a lawmaker. Then governor. Then also served in the military. Always give the utmost thanks, respect, and gratitude for anybody who's ever served. You guys truly have my utmost respect and gratitude. But yeah, it seems like he's done a lot of things before jumping into politics, and I find that to be truly incredible.
Walz was first elected to Congress in 2006, managing to unseat a 6-term Republican in one of the state's more conservative districts.
He was supportive of a number of issues related to agriculture. He also served as a leader on Veterans Affairs issues, given his extensive background in the Army Reserves. Walz was once given an A rating from the National Rifle Association. After the Parkland shooting in 2018, he quickly pivoted to support background checks, and the NRA disavowed many of his proposals.
After 12 years in Congress, Walz ran for...
Shout out Walz for quickly. I respect that, definitely, for seeing something terrible that happened and decided, you know what, actually I'm switching towards background checks. Actually, probably stricter gun laws, stricter reform, and that's very respectable. Even though I know he has guns and he does do shooting and all that, and I have no issue with that. But it sounds like he was for background checks. He wanted more background checks just to make things safer.
Minnesota governor in 2018 as someone who could compromise with Republicans. He won by more than 11 percentage points.
Hello, one Minnesota.
Walz was reelected in 2022 and a year later oversaw a Democratic-controlled state legislature with a progressive agenda.
He helped get through a program to provide universal school meals for children. He was supportive of codifying abortion rights. He was supportive of the legalization of recreational marijuana. He was viewed as somebody who was very progressive on climate.
Tim Walz, have you done anything wrong, my guy? Is there anything that you... I'm just in terms of the things that in this video, all the things that he's done, I really, really agree with them. It seems like everything that he's doing. And so that's truly phenomenal, man.
Recreational marijuana. He was viewed as somebody who was very progressive on climate change, the environment, and also in promoting infrastructure spending.
Walz was criticized for his handling of the civic unrest following the murder of George Floyd by a police officer in Minneapolis in 2020.
I'm authorizing and talking to General Jensen to fully mobilize the Minnesota National Guard, an action that has never been taken in the 164-year history of the Minnesota National Guard.
Walz deployed the National Guard 3 days after Floyd's murder. In July, the governor signed a police reform bill banning the use of chokeholds in most cases and requiring other officers to intervene when another is using excessive force.
In the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, he faced some criticism that he did not act quickly enough to quell some of the violence that we saw on the streets of the city. There was criticism that he didn't quickly bring in the National Guard to restore order.
Well, he brought it 3 days. I can understand that, though. What happened to George Floyd was a tragedy that no human being should ever have to experience. It was truly, truly heartbreaking, especially to add that it was caught on camera, to see that literally just broke your heart watching that. Like, you never want to see something like that. And then so the riots broke out, and while George Floyd's death was heartbreaking and very painful, I don't agree with violent riots, protests, march, something. You have to stand for something. I completely agree with that, and I believe the protests, nonviolent protests and marches were definitely necessary and needed. But when it comes to like burning businesses, rioting, looting, that I cannot agree with. But he called in the National Guard to restore things. However, people feel like he should have called them earlier than he did to restore order. And so, okay, let's continue the video.
Criticism that he didn't quickly bring in the National Guard to restore order.
In recent weeks, Walz has repeatedly used one word to describe Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance.
Yeah, they're weird, and I am not changing that. I see Donald Trump talking about the wonderful Hannibal Lecter or whatever weird thing he's on tonight. That is weird behavior.
And it seems to have caught on.
Wonderful.
By the way, don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird?
In the lead up to his selection.
So that's the slogan. They're weird. They weirdos over there. Okay.
As Harris's running mate, he really showed a penchant for being the attack dog, namely his appearances on some of the Sunday shows, some of the cable TV hits that he did attacking J.D. Vance.
People like J.D. Vance know nothing about small-town America.
Although no Republican presidential candidate has won over Minnesota voters since Richard Nixon, the Trump campaign wants to compete there.
Minnesota is a state that Democrats really can't lose. Trump got very close in 2016 and has since then always tried to put the state into play. He and Vance have made appearances recently in the state, and they view it as a place where they could perhaps cut into the Democratic battleground map.
The Harris-Walz ticket and its platform will take center stage in Chicago during the week of August 19th, when the Democratic National Convention convenes to cement their nominations.
Walz helps neutralize J.D. Vance's appeal to rural voters, especially those voters in the Midwest, some of the states that will help determine the election. We expect Walz to give an address at the Democratic National Convention. That'll really be his first opportunity to give the American people a window into his life, his career, his background, and that will be an important showcase for him before Democrats.
And I'll react to that one too, who is J.D. Vance, because I don't know JD Vance either. I usually don't really keep up with politics or look into it, which I should, because it definitely matters. But I just wanted to watch this video to kind of learn about Tim Walz. Like I said, it seems like ever since he was chosen as Harris's running mate, I've been seeing a lot of them on all my social media apps, and so I was like, well, let me learn a little bit about the guy. And to be honest, from this video, I know this video was only 5 minutes 41 seconds. I know there's a lot more to him in this video, but just from this video, he seems like very great, down to earth, it cares about the working man, very honorable man. So that was an incredible video to watch. Now we'll check out the other videos. I'm very unbiased in candidates for this presidential election. I need to learn about policies and all that. So I want to learn more about both sides, not just one side. And also, I want to react to both sides kind of taking jabs at each other, just because, like, so if there's, like, compilations or anything, I also want to check that out. So I know one video I wanted to check out was, like, on Forbes. It was Trump playing a compilation of Kamala. So we're going to check that out, and we're going to keep watching videos about these candidates, I guess, until the United States decide who they want to be the next president. That's all we got. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, check out this next video. It's your boy Neal, out.